So I'll give you an example. Let's say I've got a few ideas. I've got 10 ideas and I pick 3. I'm going to not launch a business. I want to launch a waiting list. Now, this is totally wrong. Most people would never do this. So I'm not going to launch the business at all. I'm just going to set up a waiting list, and the waiting list is going to essentially say, next year we're going to be launching this, or in the next few months we're going to be launching this. It's going to have these key features. It's for this type of person. If you're interested, join the waiting list, register your interest, and we will add you to the list of people who get all the early information as it becomes available. So
you mentioned Elon Musk did that with Cybertruck.
Elon Musk did this with Cybertruck. They're only delivering Cybertrucks now. He did this 3 years ago, and he basically put one. It wasn't even a proper Cybertruck. I think it was like a normal Tesla Model Y or something made to look like a Cybertruck. So they put this one on stage, and they say, we're going to launch this cool thing called Cybertruck. And if you want to join the waiting list, join the waiting list. And it's $100 to join the waiting list. They had 1 million people join the waiting list. And it wasn't to collect the $100. It was so that they could go to JP Morgan and say, we've got 1 million people on the waiting list. We think at least 60, 70,000 people will actually go ahead and buy a truck. Can we borrow the money that we need in order to build the factory? Because why would anyone lend someone the money to build a factory for a product that's untested? But once you've got the waiting list, boom. So I did this recently. I had this idea of author tools, AI-driven author tools. And actually, sorry, I didn't have the idea. One of my team had the idea, right? So one of my team comes to me and they're like, AI tools for authors. And we start talking about it. And I think, let's test it, right? Let's see how the market responds. We set up this landing page and it's bookmagic.ai. It's going to be AI-driven tools for authors. If you're interested in writing a book and having AI support the process, register your details. And I said, if we can get 150 people to join the waiting list, then we'll explore it further. I think it was 1,100 people joined the waiting list from a single post.
This is on your social media?
I just put it on my LinkedIn.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. LinkedIn.
So I just stuck it on my LinkedIn. And when they joined the waiting list, they had to answer 6 questions. And it was like, how much would you pay for the service? What are you trying to achieve? What stopped you in the past? What's your biggest fear with this service? So we asked these key questions. And then as soon as we had 1,100 people fill it in, we've got all this data, including how much the average person's willing to pay. So then I go and one of the questions was, would you like to see the business plan as a potential angel investor? Right? So we stuck that on there. And something like 200 out of the 1,100 said, yeah, we'll see the business plan. So I host a Zoom call saying, here's the business plan. And we show people, based upon the data, this is how much people are willing to pay. We've got 1,100 on the waiting list off one post. We think we can get to 4,000 people who pay $39 a month pretty quickly. So now we've got, this is how the business is going to shape up. So we did a cash flow forecast and a business plan. And then we said, in the UK, you can raise this first £250,000 called SEIS funding. So we said, we're going to do an SEIS round, $250,000. If you'd be interested, let us know how much you want to put in. So off the back of that one Zoom call, we got £580,000 worth of people saying, I want to join. So we then had to tell everyone, no, you've got to put in less than half your allocation. So then within a few weeks, we had no lines of code. We had no platform. We had no business. We didn't have a company set up. We didn't have a bank account. And we had expressions for 580,000 because we'd launched a waiting list and we had the data and we could extrapolate forward, and then boom. So on day one, all the investors pile in. There's $250,000 in the bank, and now we're ready to launch business.
They're almost telling you what that product should be in a sense, because maybe you had an idea that this is what I think the product or service should be, and then you get everyone to fill in the questionnaire, and then maybe you figure out actually this is not the problem people are having. This is the problem people have. Classic
example is that I thought it should be about $20 a month, and the market told us $40 a month.
Okay.
So I would have underpriced it by half. I would have made the journey twice as hard as it needed to be if I hadn't asked the question.